Article 1. We are all born into liberty, and we are all equal in rights and dignity. We have the capacity for rational thinking, with the awareness of right and wrong, and should act towards one another in a sense of fellowship. Article 2. This declaration entitles everyone to all the rights and freedoms without distinction of age, race, gender, color, language, social or national origin, property or other status. No one will be discriminated against for these reasons. Article 3. Men, women, boys, and girls have the right to life with access to universal health, liberty, with free education to fulfill their highest potential, and security, including due process whenever it is required. Article 4. 1. Children's rights must be guaranteed in order to create the optimum conditions that shall ensure that they can grow up to be psychologically well adjusted in order for them to become productive and happy members of society. 2. Every infant shall be reared by a couple consisting of a male and a female, with the intention of teaching them within the proper conditions for them to become accustomed to both genders, which is required for their personal growth and maturation. The mother and father shall be bound by contract to ensure that the descendant has two competent adults who are committed to their proper social upbringing. The rest of the community must behave as surrogate parents to ensure a strong communal bond. 3. The youth shall learn sexual education on a scale tailored to their age. The young shall know the basics of life with the perception that it is their responsibility to behave respectfully to one another. The advantages and consequences of their actions, as well as abstinence and tolerance of sexual differences, shall also be taught. The fundamentals for accepting family roles shall be part of their education, and couples interested in having a son or a daughter shall be required to acquire the necessary qualifications and shall be prepared for the commitment that will ensure the proper development of the newborn. 4. Society has a prior responsibility to provide parents with the necessary skills to ensure that the caretakers are qualified as authoritative role models in order to raise their babies so that they will mature into psychologically balanced, considerate people. Article 5. No one shall be forced into labor, submitted to any kind of undignified act, or owned by another. Slavery and the slave trade shall be abolished and prohibited in all their forms. Political, religious, and economic means shall not be used to deny anyone of the benefits and opportunities of life. Article 6. Individuals shall not be subjected to psychological, sociological, physical, or financial mistreatment or degradation, nor shall they be made to suffer any acts of cruelty, inhumanity, or torture of any kind. Article 7. It is the right of every man, woman, and child to be recognized as a person before the law. Article 8. What consenting people of age do sexually should not be psychologically or physically abusive in any way. Article 9. The multitude is guaranteed impartiality and protection of the law without discrimination. All are granted equal protection against any intolerance from anyone or system that is in violation of this declaration, and against any incitement to such biases above all other courts, including those of a religious or political nature. Everyone is entitled to an effective resolution from acts that violate their principal rights granted to them by the Constitution, by competent counsel, and by impartial group of adjudicators, whether they are present or absent, living or dead. Article 11. No one shall be subjected to unreasonable detention, arrest, or exile. Article 12. The masses are entitled to full equality, to fair and public hearings by independent and impartial tribunals in the determination of their rights and obligations and of any criminal charges against them. Accessories must go through psychological assessment and background check, and modern techniques shall be made available to be used to ensure the fairest outcome possible. Article 13.1. All shall be guaranteed a just assessment, including access to current technologies for their defense, in order to prevent manipulation and corruption of the facts when charged with a penal offense, and they shall be presumed innocent until they are proven to be guilty according to the law in a public trial. 2. Religious artifacts that are used in any court of law shall be replaced by equipment that can measure truthfulness. The intent and effect of criminal acts shall be used as the basis of evaluation, and every person shall be judged by their actions, where the culpable shall be punished. Similar reasoning shall also be used to reward and promote positive acts. 3. Under international or national law, no one can be found liable of any penal offense where it can be determined that actions or omissions had occurred which did not constitute a punitive felony at the time when it was committed, nor can a heavier penalty be imposed than one that is justifiably applicable at the time when the crime occurred, unless new evidence is discovered, and then the accused shall have the right to a retrial. Article 14. For the purposes of security, civilians shall be unobtrusively monitored and statistics tabulated for common use. This shall include their privacy, family, home, or correspondence, and shall also comprise places of work and leisure to better serve your personal needs and desires and to shelter us all from crime. Each person has the right to the protection against misuse of the acquired information, and it shall not be used for attacks upon their honor and reputation, but may be used to assess if an offense has occurred or to tabulate rewards for deeds deemed beneficial to an individual or society. Article 15. All other religions, with the exception of omniscience, are archaic systems that are contradictory to the concept of rights and freedom and must be regulated to history. Everyone is entitled to know empirical truth and shall be protected from exploitation. Article 16.1. People who are considered acceptable members of the social order have the freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state unless there are suitable and practical reasons to restrict them from entering an area. 2. Anyone who is not a criminal or a danger to themselves and others can leave and return to any place or country, including their own. Article 17.1. A person who is unreasonably harassed or is an advocate of positive change for the greater good can seek and enjoy asylum in other countries to avoid persecution. 2. This right may not be applicable in cases where prosecutions arise from genuine crimes or any other acts that contradict the purposes and principles of this declaration unless they are proven to be innocent. Article 18. 1. An individual can identify themselves by race or allegiance. 2. No one shall be deprived of their origins or associations without reason, nor shall they be denied the right to change their nationality or camaraderie. Article 19. 1. Men and women who have proven themselves to be mentally and physically mature, regardless of their race or nationhood, can enter into a marital contract. They are entitled to equality as partners during marriage, and they have the right to divorce. 2. Only free and fully consenting adults can enter a matrimonial bond. 3. Married couples have a duty and the responsibility to be trained in current child rearing methods in order to acquire the necessary qualifications required to have an infant before entering an agreement for the purposes of founding a family. 4. The families are a natural part of society, and it is essential that their protection be one of the founding elements of our civilization.